Hello there, this is James, and you're watching Tixee Live. And a very good morning to all of you, and a very happy Wednesday. In today's program, I want to do a quick recap or quick review of what we were talking about yesterday in reference to the Netflix earnings report, which came out yesterday after the market close, plus talk about the recent announcement of the UK CPI and a couple of other stories which are breaking and affecting the market. But before we get to that, don't forget, these little videos are for educational purposes only, and in no way whatsoever should ever be taken as financial advice. I always suggest you do your own research and do your own due diligence, and of course, know the risks at hand before entering any trade. With that out of the way, let's get started. Let's get started. Now, as you remember, yesterday in the afternoon program, I was talking about Netflix because obviously this is the earnings season is now in full swing, and we've had the banks, and now we're having a lot of the tech companies. And Netflix was the very first big one. And Netflix did indeed announce their quarter two earnings after the market was closed, and it was a bit of a mixed bag and gave the market a bit of reasonable sort of boost, to be fair. Okay, because it was a mixed bag, like I said. Now, initially, first of all, the earnings was announced as 7.97 billion versus 8.03 billion expected, so slightly lower than anticipated. But the other thing which the market was expecting, they did actually better at. Netflix reported only a loss of 970,000 subscribers. Okay, and that's not great, reporting that you've lost nearly 1 million subscribers. However, the market was expecting them to announce a loss of 2 million subscribers. So that actually information was slightly better than anticipated. At the same time, they also predicted a return to customer growth in Q3. And don't forget, like I mentioned yesterday when we talked a bit more detail about this, they are getting ready to put several new plans in action. Okay, don't forget they're looking at adding an additional cost for password sharing. Okay, so because like I said, there's 100 million households they reckon share passwords, 30 million alone in US and Canada. So they're looking to start doing that. As well as that, they're looking to maybe do an advertiser type scheme, so where it's a slightly cheaper subscription, but you have to have adverts. So they are looking at several different ways of changing their current business structure, which they need to, because let's face it, the streaming giant has lost 64% of its market's value so far this year. So, okay, anyway, this earnings report, pretty mixed, not as bad as everybody anticipated, not absolutely excellent, but not that bad. So I guess not that bad is good news in the current climate. Now, what else do I want to talk about? Obviously, in the headlines at the moment, across the board, we have a heat wave in the UK and in Europe. In fact, the UK is one of the hottest temperatures ever recorded in its history since records began. But it's not the only thing which is rising in the UK, because the UK inflation number released this morning hits a brand new 40-year high. 40-year high. It was actually announced at 9.4% versus a 9.3% expected. 9.4%. That is gigantic. That is massive. Okay, massive. As well as that, sometime this morning, the Bank of England governor has announced in a speech, he said, and I quote him, a 50 basic point increase will be among the choices on the table when we next meet. So now the market is anticipating the Bank of England to do a 50 basic point rate hike. But to be fair, they also thought that last time. So this is not really brand new information. The market has been thinking and expecting the Bank of England to be a little bit more aggressive anyway. The question I have to ask is, how long is it going to be till we see CPI at double digits in the UK? How long is it going to be? Is it going to be next month? Because don't forget, many analysts are predicting that inflation to be in double digits by the end of the year, maybe even to 11%. I think it's only a matter of time till we see double digits. But anyway, that 94%, 9.4%, 94%, Christ, that would be scary. 9.4% inflation reading is still pretty shocking. So anyway, let's have a look and see how the cable is doing. So currently on that announcement, okay, don't forget the UK releases its information usually about an hour before the European session starts, and they released it in an hour before. And like I say, it was quite a mute reaction. It came under slight pressure, dropped under that key level I've been talking about, 1.20034. It is now trying to break that level again, trying to test it. Is acting as a sort of resistance currently, but it's trying to break that key level. So yeah, that's what the markets, I guess the market had expected a pretty shocking number. And obviously, I think with Bailey, when he said about the 50 basis point rate hike being on the table, I think they pretty much anticipated that might happen anyway. So yeah, there we have it. That's what the cable's doing. If we look against the sterling, the euro sterling as well. Okay. On the back of that announcement, the sterling did gain, the euro gained a little bit of momentum against it, but as you can see, the sterling is currently fighting back, and it's finding a bit of buying support currently around 0.8521 as well. So yeah, a little bit of sterling strength against the euro, but in general, with the cable, it's still hovering around that key level we've been talking about for quite a while. Okay, so what else? Again, keeping with inflation, we have the Canadian CPI due at 12:30 p.m. UTC. Expectation is for it to come out at 6.7%. Last reading was 6.1%, so they are expecting an increase. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that. If we have don't forget the loonie in particular, the Canadian dollar has found a little bit of where's my mouse gone? Has found a little bit of pressure against the US dollar. It's currently trading at 1.28697. I'll bring it up and show you and share that with you. Yeah, it's currently trading at 1.2870. So as you can see, obviously it has lost leeway to the greenback. And like I say, if you look at on the daily, it's a little bit choppier actually on the daily. I see a little bit of buying support on the daily around 1.2870, roughly just about where it is now. But that CPI report for Canada, that will be interesting. So it'd be worth keeping an eye on indeed. What else? What else is happening? Now, it happens sometimes. You have weeks when you have nothing but negativity to talk about or nothing about bad news to talk about. But instead, I've got a bit of good news for a change, because apparently hope is increasing that Nord Stream 1 will be turned back on tomorrow, easing fears of a regional energy crisis. Don't forget, we've been talking about this, several videos about this, about the fear that this pipeline will not be turned back on, because obviously, it's been shut for its routine maintenance. So there was general fear that the pipeline will not come back on. However, Reuters have reported that the pipeline will restart on time on Thursday, tomorrow, following its completion of a scheduled maintenance. So again, this has given the market a little bit of hope, because up until this report, the market was petrified that it won't come back on. We had French President Macron saying, prepare for Russian cuts. We had the EU Commission saying they have basically accepted the fact it will not come back on. EU warning all its other member states to ration its gas at the moment, its gas consumption. So we had nothing but fear. But this report is giving basically the Europe and the euro a bit of hope. Let's have a quick look at the euro now, actually, see where we are. Because after that, obviously touching parity last week, it's fought back quite strongly. So if we have a look at it where it is now, okay, this is on a daily. All right. Okay, its testings are the key level now, 1.02684. If you look at it on the 30-minute as well, you can see, okay, yeah, it has got a slight boost on this optimism. It still can't quite break that key level, though, at the moment at 1.02684. Finding a little bit of buying around 1.0224. The RSI is in between the 70 and 30, so indicating that it's not even overbought or oversold. So we might still have a little bit of more bullish momentum to come with the single currency. So yeah, that is good news. Let's see if it actually happens. Let's see if Reuters is correct. But like I say, with all that fear, all that build up that it wasn't going to come back on, one report and then the market starts changing its mind. So let's have we'll have to see if indeed tomorrow it does come on. Don't forget, tomorrow, of course, we've got another major event happening, which is the ECB interest rate decision. Don't forget, there's that rumor that they're going to do 50 basic point rate hike. We've all been expecting 25. I will be doing a watch along for that event, see if they do indeed surprise us. So that's going to be huge. So please come and join me for that. Other events, like I mentioned already, there's Canadian CPI, Bank of Japan interest rate decision. They're not going to do anything. ECB interest rate decision. Are they going to do the 50? ECB press conference. Now that's going to be fascinating. German manufacturing PMI, UK services PMI, and Canadian retail sales, which will also do a watch along for that as well on Friday. The market, as it stands, slightly tepid. FTSE currently trading at negative 0.09%. DAX currently trading at negative 0.19%. And Eurostoxx currently trading negative 0.54%. So yeah, there we go. It'd be interesting to see if indeed Reuters is correct, if its report is right, because that's a big thing. A real big thing, especially the build-up of all the fear. And Canadian CPI today will also be interesting. So let's see. Don't forget, you can ask me questions anytime you wish, whenever I'm online, or simply say hello if you like. You know, it is live after all, and don't forget, live means live. So please feel free to ask me and talk to me anytime you wish. Okay, there's no questions at the moment. Don't forget, if you think of a question later down the line, put it in the comments, either on Facebook or YouTube. I will see them and I will reply to them next time I go live on air. So don't forget that option as well. Okay, well, as there's no questions then, so not a problem. Don't forget, I'll be back online again today at 1:30 p.m. UTC. Let's see what else develops today. I know we've got a little bit of Italian politics as well going on. Italian President Draghi's talking to the Senate at the moment, so see what happens with that as well. So that might be an interesting development throughout the day. So please come and join me at 1:30 p.m. UTC, and we'll discuss what's happening and have a look towards the US trading session, because we have Tesla's earnings today as well. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But anyway, don't forget, if you're watching me on Facebook and you've quite enjoyed this episode, found it useful, give us a follow. If you're watching me on YouTube and you found this episode interesting and insightful, subscribe if you like. Hit the notification button so you know next time I'm going live. If you enjoyed this little video and you've put up with me, my over-the-top enthusiasm for the markets, which I can't help because I love the markets, then give me one of these. It's nice to know that you like what I do. I can see I've got a little like already, which I really appreciate. But anyway, till next time, don't forget, these videos are for educational purposes only, and in no way whatsoever should ever be taken as financial advice. I always suggest you do your own research and do your own due diligence. And of course, know the risks at hand before entering any trade. Till next time, every single one of you, trade safe.